Hello, everyone. How's it going, folks? I don't know who's tuning into this. It's nighttime here. It's probably nighttime in a lot of parts of the world right now. I guess folks watching in Australia, that part of the world, it's still daylight. Maybe? Yeah. Yeah, welcome. I'm streaming from Windows here, so I don't have my usual cool, slick WOD Wednesday setup. Let me turn down the game volume just a bit here. Alright, that works. Yeah, so yeah, I've got my laptop open with the chat, so I'll be sure to look at that periodically. But yeah, so last time I streamed No Man's Sky a few days ago. I think it was maybe like the same day that the update had come out. I think it was Thanksgiving Day. And yeah, like I think I showed off my base, and I had some other goals I was doing. But yeah, I'm not doing anything too important here. So yeah, I really just wanted to... The closest thing I have to a goal right now is... And yeah, if you didn't catch the first stream, it's on YouTube. If you want to watch me play No Man's Sky in my meandering sort of way for 3 hours. Yeah, like, let's see. There are some of the things I was trying to collect. Yeah, there are now on all of the anomaly exotic worlds, there are these like little trophy type things. And there's one of them that I haven't found. So I'm looking for that one particular type of anomalous world that I haven't located the little trophy on yet. It's really not that big a deal, but you know, I've already done so much with this save game that, you know, I'm just kind of being a completist. I also don't... If anybody who plays this game a lot has any idea what this last thing in the technology section of the guide could be, it's to the right of the freighter hyperdrive upgrades. Just these, like... Yeah, and then these two things here. So I'm missing, like, 3 technologies. I have no idea what they could be. Baffling. That is also really not important, but I don't know. So yeah, like where I left off, this isn't like I did play some between now and when I streamed last, so I'm not just picking up where I left off. But yeah, I'm on one of those, like I think I might be in an abandoned, or no, in an uncharted system, which means that there are... Oh no, that's totally not true. I'm in a Korvax system. And I think this was a manufacturing facility that I had just busted into, and the door is respawned. That's hilarious. But yeah, I'm on kind of a bad weather... I mean, it's storming right now, so the visibility is especially poor. But, yeah, it's got these giant, like, kind of tropical plant thingies. They're a little bit like Bird's Paradise, kinda. And yeah, it also has these gigantic... just, I don't know. I mean, it's a weird planet, so there's a lot of things that you look at it and you're like, I don't know what to call that. I think it seems organic. It seems plant-based. But yeah, there's just these big shapes sometimes. Sometimes there's like giant writhing plants, and sometimes there's, you know, hard surfaced looking shapes. Yeah, with these weird worlds, you never exactly know what you're going to get. So yeah, I was just going to kind of tool around and probably move on from this world soon. I like that these things invite you to fly through them. Okay, the storm is clearing up. Visibility is improving. Yeah, and there is water on this planet. I think I've explored that relatively thoroughly. And yeah, the whole planet also has, like, you know, a particular color palette. And as you can see, like, the cockpit on my ship normally has like a few different colors on the displays, but it too is also being just completely crunched and muted down by this planet's color scheme. So that's always kind of cool. I don't know, yeah. I think when I saved I was pretty much done exploring this planet, so unless I see something really cool, I'm going to move on. Yeah, this is the kind of planet that you will occasionally see in No Man's Sky. And yeah, I think I've also like explored this system pretty thoroughly. Alright, yeah, that's an ice planet. I've already been there. I think it has really jerky sentinels on it. They just attack you immediately. So that's no fun. Let's not go there. Yeah, I think I'm just going to move on to a new star system. Yeah, yeah, you can see I'm in like the upper right, the northeast quadrant of the galaxy, up in that little map up in the top left. That's not super important. I mean, like, the whole thing, you know, the whole galaxy is just a big stew of different star systems and such, but yeah. I'm kind of inclined, as I'm still looking for this last anomaly world trophy thingy, I'm kind of looking out for systems that are either red, green, or blue, as they have, I'm not exactly sure what the rules are, but I think they might have a higher chance of having rare planets in them. Let's see, that's got 3 planets and 2 moons, which is fine. I mean, I'm just kind of being picky here. The most you tend to see in a star system is 6 planets. It can be anywhere from 1 to 6 planets. Hello, folks just showing up. SpriteClad says, I tried to play this game once, but it lagged hard on my PC when I tried. Yeah, depending on how long it's been since you've played this game, the UI and pretty much every aspect of the game has improved really dramatically. Yeah, you know what, sure. Oh, this is out of jump range. I guess I wandered too far. Yeah, the hyperdrive range on this hauler is not the best, but alright, screw it, I'm just gonna go here. I'm not gonna linger on this galaxy map for too long. Yeah, there have been many major updates. The really big one was last July. That's the one that added multiplayer and basically completely overhauled the game. They probably won't do another. They probably won't do another update that big, but they've been doing lots of smaller updates that are cool. So, okay, so this is a foaming planet, and it's another type of rare world. I'm pretty sure what this is going to have. I'm learning the adjectives that they attach to these planets when you're surveying them from space, and I am pretty sure that that this is going to have. Yeah, it's going to have these soap bubbles. I mean, they look like soap bubbles. I don't know what else they are, or what else they would be, but yeah, and they're like gigantic, like they're way bigger than a starship. So that's cool. I forget if I can move through them. Yes, I can. So that's weird. And then, yeah, you get closer to the ground and it's just a whole bunch of soap bubbles and stuff. So that's what a frothing world looks like. This planet's, like, terrain seems to be pretty flat, really, compared to a lot that you see. I guess it's just, like, low mesas and stuff. A lot of times what that means is that there's significant cave systems. Because the way that terrain works in this game is there's a certain range of there's like a, you know, if you think of these procedural planets like sort of a candy with a spherical candy with a shell, only, like, you know, the top half kilometer or so of thickness is subject to the random generation, you know, and then it's solid the rest of the way down. And if you're digging ever with, like, the terrain manipulator tool, you can dig down to bedrock, past which you just cannot. Oh yeah, check it out. These are life forms, actually. You can get out and survey these things, and yeah, actually, sure. Let's go down and say hi. Yeah, so when a planet has relatively low mountains like this, sometimes it means that a lot of the procedural content of the planet is actually, like, deep down, you know, is deeper below. Not always, you know, you just never know. So yeah, these are creatures, and I can scan them with my, or they're life forms of some sort. Yeah. This one is elderly. Passive behavior. Yeah, the creatures on these exotic worlds, I've never seen one be aggressive. That would be pretty scary if they were. If, like, something like this was, like, coming towards you. But yeah, they're generally pretty shy. Recognizes other species in the notes. I always like that little bit of flavor, that field for flavor text that they have. Cool. So yeah, those are the inhabitants of this planet. And, like, the really wild thing is, yeah, see, I can go to the third person here. The really wild thing is that these things are dripping constantly. They're like these roiling bubbles of liquid, and they're just dripping as they move. I have no idea what's up with that. I don't think we're meant to know. It's not like there's some lore reason or something. But yeah. And yeah, it looks like the sun's going down. Take some crystals, I don't know. And then it's also got these attractive orb-like... What are these considered? Okay, yeah, these are just minerals that are... Sorry, I'm messaging partner on my phone. Yeah. So yeah, these planets still, like, so they added these, like, creature things in, like, these anomaly world creatures, only in the latest update that came out last Thursday, the Visions update 1.75. These planets are definitely more interesting to look around in now and stuff. There's still not quite as much to them as there is, like, I've never seen there be water on one of these worlds. And in general, like, they only tend to have, yeah, like if I go into the discovery screen for this planet, yeah, see, it says 1 out of 1 species discovered, so this is the only form of life native to that planet. And I can turn that in and get a little bonus. But yeah. And yeah, I've never seen these types of planets have... like NPC civilizations, you know, like little, like Gek, Viking, or Korvax settlements on them. So they're still pretty, like, lonely and chilled out, which can be nice, you know. I'd like to find one of those worlds that I really like the terrain of and build a base on it sometime, maybe. I don't know. So yeah, it's a frothing world. Pillared planet. Okay, that's probably... I think I know what that is. Alright, that's a desert planet. Desert planets tend to be surprisingly pretty. Okay, wow, yeah, we're getting the system, this plated planet here is a, I'm pretty sure, whoa! Alright. The engine decided to, the game decided to let me pass through that, asteroid. So yeah, this is like that, this planet, I don't know if you can see it, closely, but it's got that hexagonal plating, so it's like that hexagonal theme world that I was playing at the beginning of last stream. So yeah, there's actually like there's at least 3 anomaly worlds in this system, which is pretty atypical. But it is slightly less atypical for a blue star system, as those are the hardest to get to. You need like multiple hyperdrive upgrades to reach them. And I think I thought I saw a rainbow. That's another thing they added in the Visions update is rainbows, and they're very pretty. They're also pretty rare. I've only seen like a couple of them after having traveled to a good few dozen worlds. So yeah, this is a weird hexagonal planet. If you didn't see it, at the beginning of the last stream, they have these really cool, freaky hexagon trees. Those can be very pretty when the light catches them just right. This planet seems like it has some nice cave systems and stuff. I'm not going to... oh, crap. I didn't mean to land. Well, I guess we're landing. Ooh, yeah, there's all kinds of steep cave system-y type things. Yeah, and sometimes there's just floating terrain. That's something that, even in the earliest versions of the game, ooh yeah, I like these, this kind of Swiss cheese cavern edge formation. Yeah, this is definitely above average, like, terrain stuff going on here. What is that? Okay, that's just a marrow. Yep. I wonder if there's any creatures here. I'm not seeing any, but that's never a real indication. So yeah, there's like this deep trench down here. This is basically, you know, if you've played this game, you'll recognize some of the things that are along here as stuff that normally shows up in caves. And sometimes in the planet generation, the caves just intersect with the surface, and they become like cool, weird, like trenches, essentially. And then yeah, they dip back into the terrain. And yeah. Yeah, pretty cool. And yeah, you could probably follow those for a good long while and get lost in them. Let's see. Does it think that there's a? Okay, yeah, there is an animal. There is a life form on this planet. I don't know if I want to bother to find it, but. Oh, that's something. No, I don't want that plant necessarily. I want to see what that. This is actually sort of a tough spot to get out of here. Like I'm down in this canyon, but and I want to get up there and just have a look at that creature. I just want to peek at it, honestly. I don't even need the scan. But yeah, do you see it through there? I'll bet it's just, yeah, it's probably those little hopping hexagons that blend in with the terrain around here. That's definitely the kind of life form that I've seen on these kinds of worlds before. But I think it's more open-ended, you know, like other weird glowing orbs and shapes and stuff can also show up on these weird planets. Okay. Alright, else was there? Alright, I went to the foaming planet. Sweep the scope around here. That's the desert planet. That's the pillared planet, and I'm pretty sure that is... Oh yeah, and what's this? I don't think I've scanned this one. What are you? Frostbound planet. Okay. That planet looks like it has water. Yeah, let's go to the pillared planet. Oh gosh, there's been some activity in the chat. Let me catch up on that. Since it'll take me... Oh, by the way, I looked on the stream recording that I put on YouTube of the last one. I know that hyperspace... sorry, this isn't hyperspace. This is just pulse jet travel, where the stars are... where things are sweeping past really quickly. Is just murder on the compression. On the video stream, so yes, I definitely that's definitely the fire blue. Fire blue is this texture that shreds Doom streams. Yeah, that's the fire blue of No Man's Sky. So this is a pirate who is out in this lonesome little uncharted system. They still have pirates in them, and they'll still, try to stick you up. And I'm not really having it. I don't want to give this Gek any of my money or stuff. Hold on, I want to check the chat here. No Fragmental Stew, this is not running on Linux, although I did try to run this via the Steam Proton, is it called? And it ran almost full performance. There were just a few hitches here and there. It was almost totally playable from Linux, and that was very exciting. So, I don't know. Maybe it'll get there. I mean, I also certainly wouldn't say no to Hello Games doing a proper Linux port of this, but I don't know if the numbers add up for them. Yeah, otherwise I would definitely have like the little chat thing overlaid on the screen. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm gonna refuse this pirate, and we're gonna have ourselves a little space battle here. I don't know how tough these guys are, but my hauler, it's not like it's no speedy, lethal fighter type craft, but it can take the hits and dish it out, so it's kind of like the Millennium Falcon, not the most maneuverable ship in the world, but it's got it where it counts. Hey, these guys made a bad decision. Man. That was a low percentage shot to be sure, but I was hoping the missile lock-on effect would be enough to do it. Yeah, these guys just aren't denting my shields very much. That guy just couldn't hold it for anything. Alright. Where were we? Oh yeah, I was heading to the pillared planet. Yeah, a few things have run really well for me in Proton. I sure did. Spelunky, for instance, just runs totally flawlessly. It's not a super demanding game or anything, but yeah, being able to play Spelunky from Linux with just the same ease of use as I would just installing it and launching it from Windows is pretty cool. I haven't played Spelunky in a long time. It was nice to install it, boot it up, and die a few times. I got to play Spelunky 2 for a few minutes at Day of the Devs a few weeks ago. That was cool. It definitely just seems like more of Spelunky, I'm sure that plenty of stuff has been added, but it seems like a relatively standard, kind of sequel thing, so it'll probably be cool. I mean, a sequel, like, I consider Spelunky is on a pretty high shelf in my design esteem, so a sequel to it is kind of simultaneously like, oh cool, I'd be interested to see what they feel like they could add to it, and also just like, man, like, what would you how would you improve on this game? Yeah, so this is exactly what I've seen a pillared planet look like before. Let me actually go into photo mode here and show off like what these things are about. So yeah, these are the pillars of a pillared planet. They're like these metal type, these sort of slagged metal shapes that are kind of being shattered. They've like frozen and being shattered. So that's pretty cool. Oh, that's a cool mountain to have these tall things on. Yeah, so yeah, it's probably one of the more ominous looking anomalous planets. Yeah. And I don't know. Yeah, I don't see any life forms, but there probably are some. I don't know. I've already explored one of these, and in fact, my my old home world, dating back to the Foundation days, changed into one of these with the Visions update. So it looks a little different now, and has a little crystalline life form on it. So that's cool. That made me happy. Okay, so we've got a desolate planet and a snow planet that we haven't explored in this system. Well, the desolate planet is right there. I don't know. Let's. Oh, and that thing has a little moon, doesn't it? Let's see what that's all about. Gamma-intensive moon. You know what? I kind of like moons. Although that planet has, the main desert planet has red water, which could be kind of cool. Yeah, I like moons, just, I don't know, there's something about them. The one bummer I've noticed is that moons never seem to have water. I think just because they overall have less, vertical space, you know, to play with in the generation. It might be that, I don't know. Yeah, I'm curious as to the thinking behind that decision. In general, like, I would just, if I could pick the brains of the devs of this game, I could spend hours doing that, because there's like, you know, I've watched Innes McKendrick. Is one of Hello's tech programmers, and he gave a really good GDC talk like 2 years ago, I think, about just how they do a lot of generation stuff, but it was only an hour, and you know, I mean, there's just so much more to all the stuff they were doing with this game, and yeah, some of it might have changed because they've pretty much overhauled the game in every respect since then. But yeah, and just like all the design minutia of, like, you know, yeah, like, why is there a good technical reason why moons don't have water, or is it just, you know, is there some sort of expediency? Is there a design reason? Okay, so this is an irradiated world, very orange tinted. The visibility here makes me think that there's like some sort of radioactive dust storm or something happening, so this might not be the most pleasant planet to get out in. I like the palm trees. And yeah, it's got some big floating island type things. Oh yeah, I think what I was saying before back on the hexagon planet. Oh, those are neat. I'm just getting distracted constantly. Is that they made a creative decision early on, I think, with this game, that the generated planets don't need to follow physical to respect gravity, so it's okay, you know. If they had been making a different kind of procedural space game where this kind of thing is just a physical impossibility that would never ever happen, you know, that would be one thing. But I do like that, you know, given that some of their big artistic inspirations for this game were like the paintings of Roger Dean, you know, who did like a lot of those Yes album covers and stuff. Floating islands are like fine, you know, and they probably had a little bit more confidence in that, you know, given that what was it, Avatar. You know, Avatar has the floating islands as well. So floating islands are just, you know, they're a totally recognizable sci-fi thing. Nobody's going to flip out if you have floating islands. It's all fine. So yeah, this is an extreme radioactive planet. All the creatures are extra wacky. This little hopping jellyfish type thing. You can run up and feed it. Hello, little guy. Oh, it likes me. Yeah, and then a little bit later it will poop. And the poop will be valuable or something. Yeah, they've been doing these community weekly events. And the second one of those, I think, out of 8, you had to feed creatures and then they would poop a strange new material, and then you had to send it to Polo for them to analyze. All right, I'm pretty popular here. This is like feeding one pigeon in a park, and then you get a whole crowd of them around you. Oh, hey, buddy. That's a very large little poop stone there for such a tiny animal, but you know, I don't know how biology works on this planet. Yeah. Yeah, so this is just a planet of little hoppers. Just little radioactive hoppers. And they can presumably hang tough in this high radioactivity, whereas I need to feed my suit some materials every so often. Yep, just cool writhing plants and stuff. And yeah, these things are cool. These things are very cool, actually. It's like red tiger stripes or something. And yeah, we're up on a plateau, so I really don't want to fall down there. I've got a jetpack, so I could survive, but I just don't want to. Nutrient source free radicals, okay. Oh, it looks like there's another hoppy creature. There's multiple hoppers, yeah. Alright, so there's like a blob with different eyes, and then there's this adorable fellow. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't mean to scare you. Oh wait, I've already scanned the little mushroomer? That's weird, I don't remember scanning them on this world. Oh yeah, check this out. These are, whoa, what was that? Oh yeah, this is one of the new dangerous plants. Hazardous flora. Yep. Yeah, and if I get too close, it's going to start to... Yeah. That's why you don't want to be near there. Just puffs out gas. It's bad. Buried technology module. Okay. Sure. I guess I'll dig that up. Technology modules. I don't really have any use for those now, but so these are yeah, they don't show up as anything right now, but these are storm crystals, and right now they're all kind of shut up, but you can tell that there's some cool energy or light inside of them. Wow, yeah, this is really chewing up. Critical exposure in 47 seconds. But yeah, when a storm happens, it's really bad, and you know, it'll wear down your suit, like, you know, in a hurry. But also those storm crystals start to glow and crack. They kind of come open and they crackle with energy. And yeah, and then you can harvest them, and they're super valuable. So hello, welcome. All right, folks are talking about their cats. They're comparing the alien excrement with that of their cats. I hope it's not like cubic. That you should take that cat to the vet if it's dropping, you know, copyright crystals or something. I've already lost where those storm crystals were, but yeah, but those are storm crystals. Probably see some more soon. They're cool. I definitely like that adds like a risk-reward mechanic to storms, because before storms were just sort of like, they were just always bad, you know? Like it would start storming and you'd be like, okay, well, this is a bad thing that I have to deal with, whereas having like the potential for a little reward in there is a cool. That's a nice wrinkle to add to it. Well, you know, we've explored just about, we've had at least a little bit of a look at every other planet in the system. Ah, no, but it's like 2.5 minutes away. I don't think I have that kind of patience. Shoot some gold out of this asteroid. What I'm hoping for is some tritium to power my pulse drive a little bit. But who knows? More gold. This is why it's sci-fi. It's like, oh, I don't want this gold. This gold is worthless to me. I want this weird made-up unobtainium stuff that makes my spaceship go. It's good. I love it. Let's see. Am I still... Yeah, I'm still kind of stockpiling this Herox stuff that I got off of those pirates, so... Chuck some of that in there. Yeah, I don't think I have anything especially cool in my inventory. Oh yeah, let me go to... Yeah, let me move on from this star system. I'm going to go to a system with a space station so that I can teleport back to one of my bases. Oh yeah, look at this. That is also Uncharted, but it does have the full complement of 6 systems, of 6 planets in it. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, sure, I don't know. Oh yeah, Red Faction. Someone in the chat mentioned Red Faction. That was definitely one of the first games that had any kind of destructible terrain. It was very, very advanced tech for its time. Nowadays, it's like, I mean, the modifiable terrain is definitely something impressive that this game does. Like, it's impressive that it does it on just arbitrary, you know, procedural planets, but the actual tech of just representing your so yeah, one of the things that Innes's talk on the PGC in this game did touch on was that the surfaces of their planets are represented as voxels. Like, their procedural generation algorithms work in full 3D. Sometimes when you're generating, like, the simplest way to generate 3D terrain in a game is to generate a 2D image that is only black and white, i.e. grayscale, and then you take the darkest pixels of that image, and those are the low points, and then the highest, the brightest, closest to white pixels are the high points, and that's called a height map. And then you can just like turn that into 3D geometry and kind of like have, you know, and if you use enough polygons, it'll appear to be like smooth rolling hills and stuff. And, you know, depending on the terrain will change depending on what kind of algorithm you use and what sort of processing you do to it. So what No Man's Sky apparently does is that it generates not a 2D height map image, but a full 3D thing, which I think is how you get those things like floating islands. You know, those are basically like warm, like brighter spots in the 3D chunk of texture stuff that they're generating for any given part of a planet's surface. And so because they're representing their world as voxels, when and then triangulating it at runtime on the GPU, you get you know, turning some of those voxels off or on when you use the terrain manipulator tool. That's something that you got certainly not for free, but you have like an underlying world representation model that lets you do that without a whole lot of pain. Whereas you know, if you had like a height map or something, you'd need to be modifying the height map in real time, and then like it wouldn't look good because as soon as you paint it up, you would get, I don't know, there's all kinds of trade-offs involving like, you know, 3D height maps. So yeah, and I think they clearly knew what they wanted from pretty early on. And what they wanted was cool floating islands. All right, so we're in a space station here, and I am going to jump back to something that I wanted to get to, which is my farm. This was just something that I kind of did for fun. I already have plenty of money, but it occurred to me that if I ever didn't have a lot of money and I wanted to, or I wanted to get some more because I was saving up for like a big freighter or something, that having just like a dependable way to like net a certain amount of cash could be useful. So I made a little farm in my underwater base, because my underwater, I wasn't doing a whole lot with my underwater base. It looked cool, but I wanted a little more to it. So I turned it into a farm. All right, more of the cat poop updates. Yeah, cats will eat bad stuff, and it will hurt their digestive systems. Poor things. I wish they knew better. Whoa, what's going on here? Oh no! Okay, well, some of the native plant life and mineral deposits of this planet have burst into my base. That's... I mean, on the one hand, that seems like a bug. On the other hand, it's almost like nature is telling me that I'm a fool for having built a base like this. That is really something. Yeah, this is not because of the farm, I don't think. Yeah, and because I'm inside my base, I can't pull out my my multi-tool and just, you know, like deconstruct this thing. So that's hilarious. I guess I could get outside and... yeah, let me get outside here, and so that's a little moon pool hopped down. Jeez, this thing is a big one. I guess it just appeared. Who knows, man? I'm not too happy about that. I guess I'll get a huge ton of chlorine once I finally break it down. I kind of like it too. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not... I don't wholly object to it, but yeah, that thing was just like, it was making it tough to. Oh yeah, and I made it rainbow because you can, you know. So I built this central hallway here out of all these glass tunnels, and you can set the color for like just the non-glass parts of it. So I built a cool little rainbow. Yeah, and there's the seaweed coming through too here. Well, as much as I like the seaweed. Get rid of that as well. I don't know, am I gonna have to like do maintenance on this base? Like mowing the lawn essentially. So yeah, these are our little geodomes, and they can grow stuff in the water around here. And yeah, and so I call it rainbow base because I made a cool little rainbow pathway at each little oh my gosh, look at this. Just completely taken over. These things are massive. Like, I've seen these elsewhere, you know, I mean, it makes for a really cool underwater environment for sure, but, good lord, this thing is just huge. Okay, well, I don't know if these things are going to come back if I bother to tear them down, but, let's see, could I... If I use the terrain manipulator... Okay, alright, yeah, so a little zap of the terrain manipulator. Yeah, okay, and that takes care of that. But, whew. Alright, let's go in through one of our little moon pool things. Okay. So yeah. So I am just going to... Hopefully this won't take too long. I've been filling up all of the time so far with talking, but... I was kind of planning for this to be a little bit more of just a chill out and, you know, whatever stream, but I guess I just always have something to gab about. So these, all of the plants in here are planted in very specific quantities, because each one of these domes will let me produce exactly, ooh, geez, I used up all my space here. Will let me produce exactly one... hold on here. So with the with these two plants here, this frostwort and solar vine, I can produce this thing called a heat capacitator. And these are just craftable items. You don't actually use these to build anything. These are purely for like trading. And then with this like cactus plant, echinocactus, and this thing called star bramble. And these are each found on different types of worlds. So this is found on snow planets, hot planets, desert planets, and lush planets. But with those last two plants, I can craft polyfiber. And I can make 2 of each of those because I've just harvested from 2 of those domes. And now what I can do is I can combine those 2 things together into a circuit board, which if you look at the relative prices on this stuff, these things are only worth like, you know, 130k and 180k, whereas this thing is worth 900k. So yeah, that is clearly like a cool, you know. So now, and then I've been sitting on a pile of these, so I can actually combine these 2 things to craft an even more advanced thing called a quantum processor, and those things are 4 million each, 4.4 million each. So it's the sort of thing where if you have the resources to craft up and up into the tech tree, then you get much bigger rewards for it. So that's, you know, if you can afford to do that, then that is frequently a good thing to do. Alright, so let me go back to harvesting here. And yeah, it's pretty boring. I basically built as many of these as I had, like, kind of the patience to do. I had already, like, just developed, really just from, like, exploring planets and goofing off on them. I had already collected some pretty big stockpiles of the plants that I needed to build this farm. Essentially just gathering the seeds for them. So I was like, sure, I'll just throw all those at... And then, like, the last dome or 2, I actually had to, like, harvest some of my stock from here in order to create more plants, but that didn't take too long. And then over the weekend, it was all fully operational, and I tried it out once, and it worked as I expected. So yeah, it's a bit of a money factory. Gosh, yeah, my inventory is just overflowing with this stuff. Alright, and I can craft 2 more of these quantum processors. And then I think these last few bits will just have to be circuit boards, which is fine. Looking at the chat here. I have not played Alien Legacy. Okay. Alright, I think we've just about got everything we need to craft the last little bit of stuff here. Although actually I'm short because of the way that I laid this base out. I have, yeah, there was 1 star bramble plant that I couldn't fit into the main farm, so so I planted it out by my little lobby here. Okay, so we've got a pretty big stack of stuff here. Let's see, should I try to... I think I could turn these semiconductors into a superconductor. I'm wondering if I should try to do that. Let's see, like thermic condensate and nitrogen salt, and then I think if I combine that with enriched carbon, so let's see, I have 5 of that, and I would need, let's see, how much radon do I have? I have 721 radon. And I'm sure I could, if I went back to, yeah, if I went back to one of my bases, I could, oh my gosh, I'm just like totally blocked in on this. That's annoying. Alright. Like, I actually really like letting these weird little things grow into my base, but at the point that it creates like giant invisible collision barriers, I'm a level designer. I cannot stand for bad collision in my level creations, essentially. Save at my save point here. Yeah, so let me pop on over to another base on a completely different part of the galaxy. I will go to the cave. Fragmental Stew in the chat is talking about Alien Legacy. I remember the name. Was it a DOS game? I want to say, like, it sounds really familiar, and I might have like seen a friend playing it back in the day. Like, I mean, if it was a DOS game in the 90s. Yeah. You explore a solar system and find relics and try to uncover the mystery of these missing alien civilizations. Yeah, sounds cool. That generally describes a type of game I am interested in. Alright, so this is the cave. It's named after a game that I worked on. But also, it's just a base built in a cave. And, whoa, what's going on here? Has this always been here? I think so. This little feature here, that's weird. Yeah, I guess that's always been there. Huh. Yeah, so... Anyway, the reason I came here is because this base is built on a snow planet. It looks pretty. It looks very pretty when the sun is out and the weather is right. Yeah, there's just some random ships tooling by. But because it's a snow planet, one type of gas that is abundant in the atmosphere that can be harvested with this device is radon. So I am going to grab some of that. And, oh, I guess I should fill this thing back up. And actually, how much condensed carbon do I have? Okay, I think I've got enough to... And then what I actually want to do, I want to transfer this radon. I have some radon up on my freighter. I could summon my freighter into orbit here and fly up to it and grab it, but I'm a little lazier than that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to beam it down to one of my storage lockers here. The question is whether it will let me or not. Yeah, see, this is a... I'm pretty sure this is a bug. Because, like, I have these storage locker... I have... normally... Like, sometimes I am able to teleport stuff directly from my freighter down to storage container inventory here. But... Let's see if I built lockers 8 and 9. No, I haven't. Yeah, but then like other times I can't, and it really, the only way that it manifests is just that like the storage container inventory thing here is just redded out. But it's only sometimes. I mean, for a while I was thinking maybe it was because my freighter needed to be in orbit. So let me bring it in. Alright, so now it's like up there, but I don't think that... Yeah, see, that didn't make a difference. So, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. I guess I can just fly up to my... It's in low orbit, so it's a very quick trip. Whoa, why am I... Doesn't feel like I'm moving. These clouds aren't moving. What the heck? What is going on here? I do not appear to be moving. That's weird. What's going on there? Yeah, I mean, I don't... What the heck? Okay, so I'm moving now. And it's blizzarding down there. Complete whiteout. Yeah. I also don't even want to go down there anyway. I want to go up to my freighter. What is going on there? Yeah, I've never seen that before. That's weird. That's weird. I don't like it. I wish that was like a concrete enough thing that I could file a bug report. But I don't know. That's a cool ship. Just someone visiting. So yeah, I could go into my freighter here. It's not super a lot to look at. Freighter bases, you don't have nearly as much flexibility to just build stuff, so it's very, like, you're just kind of building little grid layout rooms. The grid that it's on is relatively coarse, and you don't have a lot of options as far as parts, which is fine. You know, I don't really have, it's not like I'm like, oh gee, I wish I could build more, you know, weird bases and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, I should now be able to transfer this radon directly into my inventory. This stuff that I was checking on here, there's a refiner. It changes stuff into other stuff, and there's this junk item that you'll run across sometimes. Yeah, see, living slime. There's also residual goop and viscous liquid. These are junk objects, and for the longest time I would just sell them. But in fact, if you stick them into a refiner, you can gradually convert them into this stuff called runaway mold, which is also junk. And sometimes an alien will give you some runaway mold, and you're like, what the heck is this? Why do I want this? And it also takes a heck of a long time to process this stuff. Yeah, it's going to take like almost 5 minutes to turn all of this living slime into an equivalent amount of runaway mold. So I don't know, maybe I'll come back to that in a second. Maybe, or maybe I'll run out of patience. But yes, as I was saying before, what I want to do here is I want to turn this into enriched carbon, and then I'm pretty sure I can now use it to craft another superconductor. So yeah, let me do a little bit more of this. Okay, yeah, and I can't craft any more of that, and now let's craft some more of these. And now, because I've got 3 more superconductors, I can actually turn 2 more of these into quantum processors. Or 3 more of them. Okay. Alright, so now we're sitting on a pretty nice stack of cash here. I'll stick this radon back up on my freighter. Yeah. Yeah, so we've got like 13 mil, 22 mil, and then like not quite a mil from the remaining thing, and then like, so like 1.5 from the remainder. So yeah, you know, that's 36 or 37 million. You know, out of just like stuff I had in my farm and lying around. Yeah, this is taking a really long time. Anyway, to spoil it, what you can do with this runaway mold, so you go through multiple stages of processing to turn residual goop into viscous liquid into living slime, and living slime into runaway mold. When you refine the runaway mold, it actually turns it into nanites, which are a relatively precious thing that you use to buy upgrades and all that kind of stuff. So that's hilarious. They sort of hid small amounts of a fairly valuable resource in these junk items. So you kind of have a choice of like whether it's worth it to you. That's why this stuff was sitting in my refiner when I came up, because I had just left it running on my freighter and just walked away from it. So yeah. Yeah, I don't really have much else on my freighter. This is like the this is the bridge, and it's where like the you know, the captain hangs out. And if I wanted to do like a fleet mission or something, I could talk to them. I do have a small fleet of frigates. They do missions. I haven't had much in the way of frigate fuel lately, so I haven't sent them on anything. But I don't know. Yeah, I got some stickers from a community event. It's not in Polo, and yeah, I have a little sort of a seed vault essentially, where I've got one of every kind of plant you can plant in the game. I guess that means there's 12 of them, and yeah, just in case, I don't know, in case a planet base ever gets nuked or something, or I don't even know. Let's see. Yeah, sure. Yeah, just keeping, I'm building these stockpiles up to 1,000 each, just so that I have a decent amount on hand, in case I ever need to, like, you know, emergency craft something, the way that I just did with that raid on there. So, okay. We've done what we wanted to do on the freighter. Actually, you know what? I'm going to hold on to this raid on for a sec, just in case there's enough waiting for me down on the planet's surface that I can craft one more of those superconductors. Alright, let's go back down to the base. The cave. Yeah, aside from the Super Jerk Sentinels, this is a pretty nice planet. That was the first blizzard I had seen in a while. It's the weather isn't actually too terrible. Usually. Yeah, this might actually be enough to let me create another one of these. Which lets me create another one of these, which lets me create, yeah, turn the last of these into a thing. Alright, now I'm really done with the raid on. Cool. Yeah, there's another thing I can do. I've got some rusted metal, which is just stuff that you scrape off of old crates. And I can actually, similarly to the Runaway Mold into nanites thing, I can actually turn the rusted metal into ferrite, which is not a precious resource or anything, but it's, you know, you use it to build stuff. But it also takes a long time, so it's the kind of thing where you just set it going. Yeah, alright, so I've kind of got the full harvest here. What kind of price is my own base trade terminal going to give me for these quantum processors, these big ticket items? Where are they? Okay. Alright, so it's giving me a negative, a minus 12.4% list price, whereas it kind of seems like 22 and 17... That's what, like... Yeah, that's like, that's like 39 something. What is it giving me? I don't think that's a good price. Like, the fact that it's in, the fact that the number is in red suggests that it's terrible. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. So where I'm going to go to sell it I built one base near a very near a trade platform, so I'm actually going to go there. Hey, thanks for joining us. Yeah, have a good night. Thanks for coming around. Alien Legacy is a sci-fi strategy game developed by Joe Ibarra Productions, and published by Sierra Online in 1994. That name sounds familiar, and I'm pretty sure Joe Ibarra is one of the people who worked on Starflight. Not Greg Johnson, but yeah, that game might be in the Starflight lineage or connected to it, which would definitely explain its similarities to all the old classic space RPGs. Yeah, so yeah, this is I was actually playing with a friend and ended up on this planet, and I realized that it was in a part of the galaxy that I didn't really have a base anywhere in. So I was like, building a planet on a lush world, I don't know, it seemed nice. So I built this like mostly outdoor. It does occasionally rain here, so I built like a little sunroof type thing. But in general, it's very outdoors. And yeah, I called it the Bodacious Beta Quadrant Barbecue Deck. And yeah, it's up on this very tall cliff thing. So don't fall down. But if you do, I made a little motorcycle pad so you can get back up using the motorcycle. Yeah, and in fact, actually, let me go ahead and use the motorcycle instead of the spaceship, just because it's a little more fun. And we're not in a hurry here. Let's do it with style. All right, so. Woohoo! All right, hit that deck at a funky angle, and this thing can just nothing can really tip it or screw it up. All right. So yeah, gets you where you're going pretty quickly. It's definitely my favorite vehicle thus far that they've added. I don't know what I'm looking for in here, just goodies. No, you cannot currently sit in the chairs. That's a very reasonable request. Hello Games seems to be aware of it. I wouldn't be surprised if don't be surprised if one day you wake up and they've put out a slick update video for the chair update. Finally, you can live the dream that Director Vieira here is, and sit in a chair and just chill out. Okay. Oh wow, one of those things just had some straight up hyperdrive fuel in it. My ship is all the way up on that mountain, so. Alright, so let's see how much better a price this planetary trading post, which typically offers better prices, will give me for. Okay, so that wasn't that significant. It was like, I don't know, that's like $1.5 million, I guess, but that's not nothing. So yeah, let's go ahead and sell these. Yeah, this is still below list price, but it's not red, and I think you'd be probably hard-pressed to find a post you could play for hours and not find something that'll give it to you at above list price. So yeah, this seems fine. So yeah, we will take the 40 million. Yeah, the kind of money that I have right now, I could probably use to buy like an S-class freighter or something, which I might honestly do someday. That is a reasonably compelling proposition. So yeah, let's see, what else? Let me hop back on my bike here. Get back to the base. Yeah, this planet, there's a few things that I found interesting about this planet. It's fairly flat, but then it has these really tall mountains and mesas and stuff. That by itself isn't super rare or anything. but it also has these features, which I found kind of interesting. Let me make sure I don't fall in here. Yeah, it has like these just craters. And I've also seen these before, but like they're fairly significant. I mean, like these are as deep, if not deeper, than as these plateau features are tall. So it's kind of interesting, you know. And there's actually water down in here. Like I've jumped down into some of these before and swam around in that water. It's typically pretty shallow, so there's not a whole lot of life in them, but it is there. So it's just this curious little feature, you know. I mean, I imagine if the planetary water level were higher, then this could actually just be like a fairly deep lake. But it's not, so yeah. So that's something kind of unique I found about this planet. Unique as in I hadn't seen it a whole lot before. You know, there's billions of star systems in this galaxy alone, so, you know, how unique is anything really, but that's sort of, you know, very broadly, like, what this game is kind of about is, like, there's, like, all of the actual content of, like, I haven't seen that exact tree before. I haven't seen, you know, there's, like, the major authored bits of content, and then there's, like, you know, sort of coming to understand the game's, like, you know, what's surprising, what's rare for the game's procedural generation, and what's relatively common. Woohoo! And the finding stuff that is genuinely rare sort of becomes one of the longer term pleasures of the game, you know? Because when you've seen, you know, hundreds of worlds like I have, you know, when something jumps out to you, that's sort of, you know, I don't know, yeah. And the game does, you know, I feel like the algorithms do a pretty good job of enabling that kind of, I don't know, yeah, like there's enough interesting nuances in all the intersections of all these different things that the generation can change, so that you do find interesting edge cases. That's, yeah. So I'm going to another base of mine now. It's the one that I built in the Galactic Hub, actually. It's on a planet called Gaines Folly, in a system called Top of the Tree, which sits at the very top of, I think, the Galactic Hub, which is a player civilization where a bunch of players decided to all go to the same place and build different bases and explore and document and play together and stuff like that. Because the universe is so big that you just kind of like have to arrange a meeting place, and so the Galactic Hub is one of the biggest, probably the biggest meeting place, but there's plenty of others throughout the galaxy. They each kind of have their own little attitude about them. Some of them are like, we're badass space invader type people who will, you know, take over your civilization. You can't actually take over people's civilizations in this game. You can just go places and name stuff after yourself and build bases. You can still sort of use that to represent antagonism or something, but the people are also kind of role-playing. So I went to this base because this is where I have been keeping these kinds of trophies. These were new with the update that they added last Thursday, and when you go to those anomalous worlds, like I was playing on at the beginning of this stream, sometimes you'll find something on that planet you can deconstruct and carry with you. And yeah, and these are 3 of those objects from different kinds of anomaly worlds. This is another type of those objects. It's just yeah, anomaly worlds are weird and cool. And let's see, where, yeah, these bubbles here are from, they're from a frothing world, like we saw at the beginning of the stream. And so yeah, the reason that I came here is because I collected a new one of these, the second to last one, and I wanted to figure out where I wanted to place it. Okay, yeah, cool. So yeah, this is from one of those hex worlds, obviously. And I kind of thought it would have a nice spot with my other plants, with my other decorative plants here. And yeah, that looks really nice, I think. Yeah, like these are buildable plants. This thing is actually a native plant that I built the entire base around at the top of this hill. And so I left that there, and then I had a little bit more dirt to plant stuff on, so I just planted some non-native plants. And now they have a friend for a lovely hexplate bush. So yeah, and there's only one of those rare world trophies that I've yet to find. So okay, so yeah, I did a run through my farm. I cashed that in. I put this thing down. Yeah, where should we go? I guess I could keep exploring the system. Is there anything else that I want to look at here? Yeah, I talked about the Pilgrim Star Visitor Center last stream. Showed off Galaxy Donuts. Yeah, let me go back to that star system where I was. So we're back here, and I think I just got here, right? Like I showed up and then I just headed straight for the star system. Hey, buddy. Yeah, so I don't know. It's kind of just up to me what I want to do here. This is the guild envoy for, what are you, Explorers Guild? I don't speak Vy'keen nearly as well. Okay, Mercenaries Guild. Okay, well I guess I've done enough work for the Mercenaries Guild that this guy just has a gift for me. I'll take it. Oh. Okay, just gave me some money. Cool, and this is the mission board where I could pick a procedurally generated mission. And yeah, none of them are too appealing. Take a photo of an underwater creature. That I can do. Not that I need the nanites or anything, but it's the kind of thing I would do. Oh, and look at this. Feed 7 creatures? Yeah, sure, I'll do that. I'll feed creatures. That's something I like doing already anyway. I don't want to kill stuff. Optical solvent is like a specific, it's like a freaking specific trade good. I mean, I guess... Hold on, buddy. Let me get back to you on that optical solvent. If they're selling it right here... Oh, yeah, alright. Well, that was cake. Jeez, yeah, you don't... That was a lucky roll, I think. Yeah. Hey, buddy, about that. Source items for the client. Oh, do I need to deliver it somewhere? I do. Yes. No, I need to take it to... Oh, do I need to deliver it somewhere else? Don't know about that. Yeah, what else is going on here? No ships seem to be landing. And yeah, like I'm kind of full up on upgrades. Like there's nothing that I really need, honestly, for my... Yep, pathetic weapon, interloper. I've heard it all before. Mining beam upgrade. But I think I've already just totally maxed out my mining beam. My mining beam and my scanner are definitely the things that I care about most for this. Or maybe I haven't. You know, I mean, I've got the nanites to burn, so in case this ends up being a mistake... Just scoop this up. so I'll explain what the deal with this is if it comes up. Let me save real quick here. Okay, so yeah, this thing is a procedurally generated, as in the specific stat boosts that it gives you, upgrade for a particular thing that my multi-tool does, which is Mining Beam. And you can install them in the multi-tool zone slots. Okay, yeah, so that's what I suspected. I've installed too many, like, before I had 3 of these upgrades. Oh, you know, I already had like a Class B thing there. So yeah, but because I've installed 4 upgrades, it's overloaded now, and so it's not gonna do what I want it to. So I am going to reload, actually. Hold on. Let's try that again, but first I am going to dismantle this upgrade because it is only B class, and I've got an S class to replace it with. Yeah, alright. Install. Pop that sucker in. And yeah, it's just way cooler all around. So yeah, my Mining Beam, which was already pretty significantly cool, should be even cooler now. Joyous day. So that was well worth the nanites. Yeah, okay, so, gosh, yeah, they want us to... This mission I got... I'm not used to those wanting you to actually leave the system, but, I guess we can see what that's all about. This is a paradise planet that's, like, bright pink and orange. So I actually really want to check that planet out. Okay, so there's like a very nearby system that it wants me to carry that to. I'll do that once I've done everything else in this system. Yeah, it wants me to feed... I have the 2 other missions I have. I want to feed creatures and take a landscape. Or take a photo of an underwater creature. Well, this planet appears to have... I don't know if that's pink water and orange land or vice versa, but either way it sounds lovely. Alright, looks like orange land with pink water. Okay, yeah. That looks like a little settlement. I could go check that out. Viking architecture, or just, you know, industrial design is definitely sort of more boxy. You know, like they're a warlike people, so they, I don't know, yeah, it's almost like their stuff is a little more, is intentionally more brutal and utilitarian. The Korvax are sort of curvy and fancy, and the Gek are kind of industrial, you know, they're traders. And the Korvax are scientists. That's the 3, that's the breakdown, is, nobody home. Okay, we got a little number puzzle here. Okay, so I guess if we solve this correctly, we'll get a, what is it? A crashed ship location, which I don't necessarily care about, but we could check it out. Alright, so this looks like a Fibonacci type sequence, like 1, 3, 4, 3 plus 4 is 7, 4 plus 7 is So 11 plus 18 is 29. Distress signal. And we get a nice overhead view of the area. I thought I was landing... Okay, yeah, that's the... To the southwest there is the lake I was looking at. Oh, it's looking at the ground there. Okay, so if these cardinal directions are to be believed... Oh, hey, look, it's a creature. Are you a friend? You're prudent, so yeah. It's just snuffling and gruffling. Go ahead and save here. Alright, there's the shipwreck. 6 hours away. That's a fly trip. Okay, so if that's north, then southwest is kind of off in this direction. I'm guessing that the water is like just over this ridge or something, but we'll see. Either way, the weather is extremely pleasant, so it's not draining my. I mean, it is draining my suit, but at a very reasonable rate. Here's the lake. Some bare rock down here. Oh, look at that. Cool. Alright. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. Okay. Screw you, buddy. Yeah, so those are abyssal horrors. They're bad. They will, they'll suck you towards them, and you know, that's bad. You don't want that. Yeah, this is a very deep lake. And yeah, it has these gigantic crystals in it. So that's pretty neat. Okay, so just take a photo of an underwater creature, huh? That I can certainly do. How about you fat little guppy fish? Alright. Not my best work, but it'll do. I did it. And then, yeah, what else was, it was feed creatures. Just have to feed 7 creatures. I'm guessing I can't feed the fish. I would love to feed the fish, but I'm guessing I cannot do that. Where did the fish go, anyway? Alluring specimen. What is that? I think I might know what that is. Hey, fish. Hey, fish. Oh, man, they're really fast. And they probably just think I'm just another Leviathan predator or something. Yeah, they're running away from me. Sorry, fish. I just wanted to see if I could feed you. Oh, yeah, I know what this is. I know what this is. Yep. So, these are things that you can collect. And you can collect a few of them, probably. But then, at some point... Oh my gosh. Oh, geez. Also, I'm drowning, so... Why don't I... Whew, made it in just in time. Yeah, so here I am on the bottom in my little air bubble shelter. The bottom of a lake on a pink and orange world. This is just a nice, you know, and this light is streaming in through the surface of the water, and there's fish up above, and they're casting shadows, and there's these giant crystals. Like, this is, I don't know, yeah. The moments where you have to, where the game, like, kind of requires you to, or, you know, invites you to just stop and rest and reflect on what you're seeing is, it's one of my favorite things about the game, for sure. Okay, so my air is recovered. Grab my little shelter again. Okay. And yeah, so I'm pretty sure I know what's going to happen here, but maybe not. Alright, maybe it'll just be when... Okay. Well, normally, this thing, a giant monster comes out, like, has been camouflaging itself as this thing, and it comes after me. Maybe it's still going to do that, and I just haven't... Okay, well, it has successfully made me paranoid, which is job well done, game designers. Because, yeah, you never forget when a gigantic monster comes at you out of something that you thought was just a plant with some baubles on it. Yeah, I was kind of casually drowning there, you know. You know, it's the kind of thing where if a game doesn't punish you for being low, it just punishes you for being out of a meter or something, then, you know, you'll tend to push that thing to the limit. Because it's not real to you in the way that being a human who's actually asphyxiating from low oxygen would be. I do respect them for trying with the sort of gurgling noises that play when your stuff gets low. These are cool trees. I always like little mushrooms that stick out of trees like that. And yeah, we're kind of on the far side of this lake from where my ship is. I could call my ship down, but I'm only like 500 something units away. You can't summon a motorcycle in just any world without building a thing that costs some real resources, so... Planet Yabarb. Sentinels ever present. More warp fuel. It's just falling out of my ears. Some kind of big old creature. 6 legs. Its rearmost set of legs is all shrimpy. Oh my gosh, yeah, it has an adorable, like, head. What's your deal, buddy? Oh, it's cute. It's kind of, it feels kind of dark crystal-y, you know, just like in sort of its proportions, and it's got a weird, cool beak. That's sort of a stacked screenshot, but sure. Its behavior is submissive, so it's just gonna run away from me. Alright. So yeah, have I done all of the, oh yeah, I need to feed creatures. So why don't I go and feed some of these nice animals, if they'll let me. Can I feed, are you a tiny one? Oh no, you're a completely different kind of creature. Alright, I fed you. I guess I already scanned you. I've got a total hammerhead thing going on. So are you related to these, or... Postria nethrica. Okay, yeah. Are you a young'un? Okay, yeah, you're a baby. You're a baby. Cool, okay, so I can feed the babies. And these creatures don't seem to mind me messing with their... Well, can I feed you? Can I feed the big ones? No, feed it. There we go. There you go. There, see, I'm not so scary. I'm not scary. Hey, buddy. I got food. Hey, it's my buddy from earlier. Alright, you're not hungry yet. These are just some floating resource thingies. I think you just gotta whack them a bunch. But yeah, always time for floating crystals. I got some buddies. This is my posse. Is that the, I don't necessarily need the copyright, but... That is an evil plant. Yeah, it's real chill at night on this planet. I feel like, okay, the weather on this planet is occasional scalding cloud bursts. So... there might be some bad weather, but... not so far. Ooh, that's a big one. Just, you know, rating those alien poops. Big one. Good shape. Etc. Oh. It's gruffling. That was an interesting vocalization. Alright, is it for the purposes of the quest, am I getting credit for feeding? Okay, yeah, I think I am. Alright, so maybe I'll complete it if I can just feed one more. Yeah, the adults are really skittish. Alright, that's it for feed creatures. Oh yeah, look at you. Okay, so some of your species have like the hammerhead thing, and then others have like the eyeless beak thing. That's hecka dimorphism, if that's what that is. Very interesting. Alright, cool. Well, looks like we've got some missions to hand in. Yeah, and then I've got the base computer archives thing. Alright. I think we've, kind of done what we can do here. There's some star bramble. That is a drop pod that you can use to upgrade your inventory. I'm kind of full up on those upgrades. Oh, and we're leaving right as a rainstorm is happening, so catch you later on that. Alright. Let's go back to the space station here and turn in these missions. Yeah, these missions are, you know, they're generated. There's only like, there's a finite number of different kinds of missions, you know, and then they just sort of change the variables, like what kind of item you have to fetch, like what sort of thing they want you to take a picture of, whatever. But there's kind of enough variety that if you're just looking for something to do, you know, they'll definitely, there we go, did that. I'm already the highest rank with the Explorers Guild, so. And yeah, the Vy'keen are happy with me for doing that for them. See, the Vy'keen aren't all just senseless murderers. Yeah, I'm not going to do any more of this. Yeah, the mission system in this game was actually partly an inspiration for Mr. Friendly, because it got me thinking about the possibilities of like generated types of quest design. Let me just scan the rest of the planets in this system before I leave, just to make sure I'm not missing out on the last type of anomaly world. Alright, so we've got a frozen planet. It's potentially promising. Pillared planet. I think that means that's the shattered metal pillars, isn't it? Alright, is there only 4 planets here? Yes, there are. Okay. All right. Well, I don't mind saying goodbye to this one then. Let's go turn in the solvent or whatever it is that quest wanted. Yeah, it's like, you know, Mr. Friendly, I was sort of similarly reacting to, you know, I wanted something that you could play in any Doom level, which is sort of analogous to the effectively infinite possibility space of No Man's Sky, planets, star systems. But how do you change up the, you know, how do you change the details of those things in a way that at least makes them feel like unique things that you have to do, you know? And it's not that the player will absolutely discern that they are doing the same thing over and over, but hopefully there's enough variety that they can be like, oh yeah, you know, I don't mind doing this kind of mission. I'll go ahead and do that. Or, oh, I can see that the thing that I need to complete this mission is like right nearby, so sure, I'll do that one. I think I was thinking I just automatically, it's just an autopilot, landed at the starbase. Bubbling moon. I'm assuming that that's another adjective that means what frothing planet did. Toxic planet. Scalding planet. Rainy planet. Two rainy planets. Bubbling moon. Alright, and then it looks like there's another moon hiding behind this giant toxic planet. Let's go check out the bubbling moon, just because I don't know if I've run into that particular adjective before. I'm 90+% sure that it means what I think it means, but just because I'm still learning the new system. Interesting speckling kind of. Yep, it's bubbles. It's bubbles. All right. Alright, so how do I get around... So just go around this planet a little bit. Until I see the moon. Fiery moon. Okay. Alright, so I don't think there's anything terribly cool here. But... Oh yeah, okay, here we go. Alright. That's what I wanted. I just wanted to know where to deliver the solvent. Sun's either setting or coming up. Yeah, this is a toxic... Ooh, there's a crashed freighter. And is that a... Okay, so there's a trade depot right there. So we could hit the crashed freighter on the way out. Giant mushrooms, pretty standard thing. What's up? Whatever. Deliver it. Cool. And I think I have a relatively good reward coming to me there. Oh, look at that guy. It's a crested lizard bear. Yep, you see those sometimes. Highly intelligent. That does not necessarily say whether or not it's aggressive. But yeah, cool. So yeah, maybe in a few million years those things will be running this planet. They managed to survive on a toxic planet like this, so, you know, they're cooler than me already. And I have a spaceship. It's definitely fun sometimes to do ship shopping, to just like look at all the different ships that come by. Just get the whole range of color schemes and, you know, ship types. There's explorers and fighters and haulers, and then shuttles, which are sort of like the all-rounder, not great at anything, but not bad at anything. Like that's a shuttle. It's an especially cute, stubby shape, but it is a shuttle. As is that one. I'm not mocking your ship. I'm just... Alright. Yeah, let's go check out the crashed freighter. Those got an upgrade in... Oh yeah, that is fungal mold, fungal spores or something. There's the crafting. You can plant those, and you can pick those and then plant them in farms. Where was that freighter? There it is. Yeah, Crash Freighter's got an upgrade in the Visions update last Thursday, and they were they were all kind of identical before. Like you would see the same type of ship always. It was the kind that looked like this, but also they the actual gameplay of doing the salvage is more interesting and varied now. And yeah, there's always a little log with this. Cool. All right. Yeah, just some random story stuff. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, and that's the log of the person who was on this crashed freighter, I guess. Did it give me a freighter salvage like submission? Sure. You know, not that I need it necessarily. I know what the deal is with these. Okay. So I can use my scanner here to find different. You gotta find different bits of buried rubble here. But now I have to, yeah, I kind of have to like blast these panels open, and yeah, this thing is, dig this thing out. Where's the entrance? Okay, there we go. Alright, I've got some of that. Pop this thing open. Polyfiber, well, I already have plenty of that, but... And yeah, most of these storage units have anti-intrusion tech on them, so that as soon as you crack them open, it discharges like some poison or some radiation or something. Because they're rude like that. Alright, where's another cargo pod? Cargo pod. Yeah, yeah. Wait, I lost track of it. Oh, it's down there. Launch fuel. Alright. Saves me the trouble of having to craft some. No really great finds this far, but... Is this like under this plating here? Oh. Alright. I really want us to dig for this one. Oh, look at this. There's a whole lower deck here. Interesting. Are there any other rooms in here? Because that would be pretty interesting, like finding just an entire freighter interior room here. Oh yeah, look at that. Interesting. How far down does this thing go? Alright, that's another floor. Yeah, I guess I just have to kind of rely on my my scanner to know where these goodies are. Let's pop this thing open. Okay. I forget what I used. I think if I combine unstable gel with acid... Oh, jeez, yeah. I didn't stand far enough away from that thing's anti-intrusion system to not get poisoned. Yikes.
Radiation damage detected. Radiation protection stabilizing.
Yeah, there's a lot to this interior. I haven't really explored one this fully before. Any goodies in here? Aw, man, that's such a crate. Just let me find some garbage in that crate or something, you know? Alright. There's another one. Oh. This is one that I already dug up. I built a little circular tunnel in there. Cool. Alright. Do I have any... Oh, okay, yeah, I guess if there's still 2 pods I gotta find here. I don't gotta, but... You know, if I'm bothering to do this, might as well. Might as well see it through the rest of the way.
Toxin protection falling. Technology prepared.
Antimatter housing.
Extreme radiation detected.
Which is, again, not... It's not nothing, but it's not like... It's not an amazing treasure. Is that a cargo plane? Okay. How do we get in here? I don't know if I can make that squeeze. Yeah, I'm gonna have to like... Oh, here we go. There we go.
Technology prepared.
Heat capacitator. Well, I know that... Yeah, I can create 1 circuit board out of that. That ain't bad.
Radiation
So yeah, like how much did this net me? Like... That costs a lot more to buy.
radiation protection.
So that's worth something... Oh jeez, I'm getting... Like a very negligent... Like a very negligent, I don't know, construction worker or something. I would be fired from my job. My job were salvage. Yeah, 100K. So like, you know, a little over $1 million netted from that. Cool. Well, let's go back up and turn in our little fetch quest here. It's like a blue planet with rings. Yeah, there's 2 rainy planets. Yeah, I have no idea what kind of workplace safety regulations. No Man's Sky doesn't feel like a terribly regulated universe, you know. It's a little bit individualistic, you know. It doesn't seem like a libertarian universe, but it definitely, you know, I've thought, you know, as much time as I've spent playing this game, you know, I do kind of think about like the ethos being communicated via its design, over, you know, besides just its world building. It is definitely, you know, I mean, even after they added in multiplayer, it is still very much like a solitary fantasy. You know, you're all alone, making your way. You start off alone, making your way in the universe. You're you're kind of living off the land, you're choosing your own employment and choosing your own goals. None of which is like a bad thing, you know. I mean, I feel like the social, you know, conversation around individualism in our society as we move into a different era of our history where, you know, we've got an enormous incentive to behave mutualistically in the form of climate change and all that. I think individualism does definitely mean something different in the 21st century compared to the 20th, but I don't know. This is also like, this feels so, in No Man's Sky, the individualism feels very benign and kind of idealistic. Like, you know, you're like this dreamer, this traveler. You're kind of traveling for the reasons that people would, you know, for those kind of self-actualization reasons. And yeah, like, I've thought about, you know, like, I had this thought recently that No Man's Sky isn't a power fantasy really at all much, but it is a freedom fantasy. And I think a lot of different kinds of games are freedom fantasies, honestly. I think, you know, that's actually a fairly popular part of like an open world game, even one, you know, so an open world like Assassin's Creed or something. Yes, it's a power fantasy because you're this powerful murder lord who fights everybody and gets a lot of gold or whatever. But it is also definitely to some extent like a freedom fantasy because you have a huge world laid out before you, and you're just sort of in a big theme park and it's yours to explore. You know, theme parks are a real life physical freedom fantasy. And I think that's cool. Like, I have a lot less complicated feelings about indulging in a freedom fantasy, usually, you know, in sort of the generic case, than I do like a power fantasy, you know. And I don't tend to seek out most kinds of power fantasies. I don't personally want to like fantasize about being like super physically powerful and able to like beat people up and do violence, even if it's bad people. Whereas being able to like go where I want and explore incredible places and not have to worry about like the physical danger of doing so, that's super appealing to me. You know, and I think that's partly why this you know, this game has resonated with me so much. Hey, weird buddy. And yeah, you have the freedom to meet people with triangles for heads. This person is or entity being is a traveler. And they are sort of the fourth race that was introduced in the Atlas Rises update, and they're weird. And part of the Atlas Rises story is figuring out like what the deal with the travelers is, and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, some of them are just idling at space stations, and you can talk to them. Okay, they were really happy about that, and they gave me some money for my neonites. All right, whatever. Yeah, cool. Alright, so I think that's like my quests for now. I don't know, is there anything, does this place have anything cool on sale? No, but that's fine. And yeah, I got a cryo pump out of that exchange, for doing that quest. Where'd it go? Oh yeah, there it is, cryo chamber. I might be able to craft, that's not a great price, and I might be able to craft something way more valuable out of it, so I'll hold on to it for now. Got a real skinny ship and a real tall ship. What do you got, buddy? Same kind of stuff. Not a very exciting ship. Exhausted Shield ZC2. It's an interesting name. Alright, I'm gonna save, and yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm at a pretty good stopping point for now. Like, I don't know. I don't really have anything else that I want to accomplish. So, yeah, I don't know. Should I go back to my base or something? Do I have any business to do at one of my... Yeah, there is like this, there's this base computer archives quest that refreshes once a day, basically. So I guess I could go do that. Yeah, and it points me to a different base of mine each time. I guess maybe that's my most recently visited base, so it wants me to go there. Yeah, it's back to being super pleasant and placid on this planet. So yeah, these base archives quests, early on in the game, it's walking you through the tutorial and stuff, and it tells you to build a base, and you can extract some technology from this base computer, and it kind of has this fiction that, like, somebody owned this base computer before you somehow, or that there's just weird data haunting it. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, have a good one. See you around, Mr. Pedovan. Yeah, but, after you go through all of, like, the progression of stuff, you can just, there's a little quest where you can just poke it and get some more, salvage technology modules out of it, which I've kind of already bought everything that you're supposed to with those, but I don't know. You know, it's a quest. So I guess I'll complete it, you know. Yeah. This is probably a good stopping point, honestly. Yeah, I'll go out to my little deck here. Yeah, I can't sit in these chairs. You can kind of, let me see if I can do this. So yeah, you can, like, sort of, let's see. Yeah, I'm kind of like standing on this one, and I can go in and I can play. I can sort of play a sit-down anim, so that almost works actually. But you know, yeah. But see, I'm floating. So maybe it means I'm just like a super awesome enlightened person who can do levitation. Maybe that's what that means. But yeah, I don't know. So yeah, like I'm starting to get tired. So yeah, it's like 11. So I think I will. That's a good place to call it. But yeah, thank you for watching. Yeah, I don't know when. I don't necessarily expect to make a regular thing of streaming this game, but I enjoy it. Once I collect that last little trinket, I'm guessing my playing of it will be even less goal-oriented. So, you know, definitely like the idea of just having something that I'm not trying to do anything in particular with the game, just go around and experience it. Okay, well, yeah, thank you very much for watching. Have a good night. I'll see you around. I'll see some of y'all on Wednesday. And yeah, I'm reviewing my screenshots here. Yeah, and until then, or whenever I see you next, have a good one. Thanks for watching.